Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. Alright, so I'm going to attempt this one more time. Okay, I'm just going to start from the top. I'm just going to go and see how this rolls out. We are better than this. All of us are better than this. So I'm going to start it out this way. Now, in the past, last week, I've had a few people come on that were clearly new to this channel, didn't understand what I'm talking about when it comes to three-dimension, okay? So we are having a major crisis on the planet right now, and it's horrible, it's horrendous, and yet I believe it's the very thing that's going to force humanity to finally wake up, to finally take it to the next level. So let me start it out this way. I'm not taking sides. Okay, that's a two-dimensional thing. What I was trying to say is there's an energy thing that's happening here, and it's literally exploding, and it's causing a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. I'm going to explain why some people need to suffer tremendously before they'll take it to the next level. So, real quick for right now, people on the two-dimensional way of thinking, it's either or. Okay, so it's like they're in this constant battle, this constant tug of war with the opposite of themselves. I'm going to talk about something called parts. Okay. People on the third dimension, in order to learn, all we need to do is learn, pay attention, listen. People on the second dimension can't even hear what we're saying on the third dimension. And I'm going to give you a real life example that happened a few days ago on this channel. So people on the two-dimensional level, unless they're willing to let go of that level, that way of being, that way of thinking, the only way that they will finally snap out of it is through a lifelong level of suffering. Like tremendous pain, tremendous sadness, tremendous fear, tremendous guilt, shame, and suffering, and then they finally pop out of it. People on the third level, you know that you don't need to suffer in order to develop, to grow, and learn, because you're on this journey, this curious, fascinating journey, and you're moving forward in life. It's like you're in this constant state of discovery and learning. And this is why some people, they'll look at me like, well, why do you keep reading books on physics and personal development and psychology and science? It's because I'm excited about life. I'm excited about growth. I'm excited about what's happening to the planet. Whereas people on the two-dimensional way of thinking, the left brain, they're in this constant tug of war against an enemy. And here's the really funny part about it. Those people are not actually your enemies. It's an illusion that you've made up in your head. Because here's the deal. If I were to completely get rid of your enemy on the entire planet and the entire universe, you would start looking for another group to be your enemy. Because that's the way you identify. That's the way you function. That's the way your brain thinks. Without an enemy, well, you don't exist. You don't have any motivation. You don't have any excitement in life. People on the two-dimension, you need an enemy, because otherwise you have no identity. Without an enemy, without the complete opposite of what you are, you don't know who you are. You don't exist. All of a sudden there is a vacuum. There's an emptiness on the second dimension level, but not on the third dimension. On the third dimension, you connect with yourself. On the second dimension, you have to connect with somebody else. That's the opposite of you. Why? Because it gives you contrast. On the second dimension, this is the only way you can get contrast. This is the only way you can know that you exist, that you have values, that you have beliefs. Without contrast, nothing exists. On the third dimension, you let go. You let go of the tug of war between others, between other people, between other groups. You completely let go in conversations. The arguments are gone. When people start to argue with you, it means they're on the second dimension. It's because they can only see it from their perspective. To them, the risk of allowing themselves to see it from your perspective terrifies them. It absolutely terrifies them. They will shame you, they will blame you, they will make you look bad, they will lie, they will twist their own values and beliefs. They'll do anything to make sure that they see things the way that they see things. They do not want to see any other option or any other possibility. Whereas on the third dimension, we're all about like, well, how do you see it? What perspective do you see it from? We want to see it from other people's perspective. We want to try their foods. We want to learn about their culture. We want to take on the challenges of life. We want to understand things in different ways because it enriches life. On the third dimension, life becomes enjoyable. It becomes rich. Food becomes flavorful. Life becomes flavorful. This is literally the spice of life. So when people come along and their form of communication is just taking the opposite side and just disagreeing, arguing, they're not even attempting to understand where you're coming from, let go. Let go of the rope. Not only will it free you, but here's the really weird thing. It also frees them. Now, the more that, you ever been in a tug of war like in real life and the person on the other side purposely let go and you fell on your ass? It was shocking. In fact, I remember the first time it happened, it shocked me, it caught me off guard, but there was like this expansive openness, like what happened? Boom, they opened up. And when this happens to them enough times, it might take years, it might even take decades, but it conditions into them to let go, at least it conditioned them to where if for a few moments they've expanded open, like wait, what? So the what question, it forces their system to open up. Instead of being narrow and closed, they open wide open, and they start looking around for what happened. How come I fell down? Why did I slam on the ground so hard? And during those moments, they are open. So the more moments they have when people let go of them, the more aha moments they have. The more they have that, the more it's conditioned, and the more they start to become aware of, wait a minute, there's a different way to go through life. So understand something. We are on a journey. It's like we are literally flying through space. We are on this amazing journey. You know, one of my hopes and dreams, and even an image I've had in my mind for years now, is narcissists are going to wake up. They are going to get better. It's going to take time. And here's the best way to help them. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Let them fall on their ass. Let go of the tug of war. See, if you engage in the tug of war and you start to argue and fight with them, you start pulling back, you are just strengthening their perception of this is the way life is, and you're conditioning this into their nervous system. When you let go, when you break up with them, when you move away, when you just refuse to argue and walk away, etc., boom, all of a sudden they fall on their ass and the rope is out of their hands. They're like, okay, well, now what? So they have to start searching for answers, and this is the best thing that can happen. Now, being raised Christian, being raised in America, marriage is sacred. Marriage is something that is the most sacred thing on the planet. You do not get a divorce. You just don't do it. That is how I was raised. It's still conditioned into me to this day, until the last few years when I started realizing, like, oh, this is possibly something narcissists built into the system, because it allows them to abuse someone for the rest of their life, and they don't have to, because narcissists are essentially lazy, and therefore they don't have to search for another person to abuse. I got married, boom, I got this person to kick around for the rest of my life until the day I die. Now, during an NLP training in Hawaii, a 5-week training, it was energy healing, Huna, NLP, Ericksonian hypnosis, timeline therapy, etc. So 5-week training, and I remember when we got to the marriage coaching, I think it was a 5-day training. And they had said something. I forgot what the lady, it was a lady I think who had been through divorce, or maybe she was a therapist, but I remember her saying, so, well, what do you do if someone doesn't change? And it's a funny thing now, back then we weren't talking about narcissist abuse, but that's what this, as I reflect back, that's what she was explaining to Dr. Tad James. And he said, the best thing you can do, divorce them. And she's like, yeah, but that would devastate them. And he goes, good. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, this was the first time. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. But then he explained something. He goes, sometimes the best thing you can do for someone is break up with them, cut them out of your life, let go of them, divorce them. It'll cause them to finally do introspection, to look at themselves, to see what they did wrong, what could they have done to make things better, to save the marriage, and on and on. And until you do that, they have no motivation. They have no reason to look in the mirror and say, well, what's my part in this problem in the marriage? A lot of people that are married, a lot of people in relationships, business relationships, they don't think they've done anything wrong, even if they might be 100% the sole person that's causing all the problems. So until they receive massive amounts of pain, guess what? They're not going to change. The best gift that you could ever give to a narcissist or a narcissistic person or someone who's just a pain in the ass is cut them out of your life, completely become nothing to them, let go of them, and watch what happens to them over the next few years. Like when you let go of that tug of war rope and they fall on their ass, it shocks their entire foundation. It shocks their entire system. They snap out of it, even if it's only for 10 seconds. They snap out of it and go, whoa, wait, what's this? In other words, that tunnel vision that they always look down. This is life. I'm a Christian. I'm this. I'm that. These are my values. This is the city and state I grew up in. This is my country. This is my beliefs. It snaps them out of that rigid way of thinking. And now they open up to all the options and possibilities of life, even if it's only for a few moments. If this happens enough, one day they'll snap out of it. Guess what? That's how you snapped out of it too. You suffered and you suffered and you suffered and you suffered and you suffered because you were stuck on the 2-dimension. You truly believe that being an empath, a light worker, or just being a good Christian or good person, your job was always to return with love, always return pain with kindness, to always be good to them. And this is what got you caught up. That's how you kept getting destroyed, even though the Bible says, do not deal with demons/narcissists. That is not your job. Your job is to walk away from them. You are not supposed to associate with them. You are not supposed to hang out with them. You are definitely not supposed to marry demons. What the hell are you thinking? You were thinking to be a good person, and that is a good quality. You needed to snap out of that one-sided, tunnel vision way of thinking. And you suffered so much damage, so much hurt, so much pain that one day you snapped and you couldn't take it anymore. And it's like you fell on your ass. Someone let go of that tug of war, and it was probably you that let go, not realizing it was going to snap you back and you were going to fall on your ass, and it was going to shake the very foundation of everything that you truly believed in, everything that you had faith and belief in. And I know a lot of you thought that you lost faith in God. I know you did. You did not lose faith in God. You started finding God. You finally let go of the second dimension and you looked for something else. Something inside you said, there's something more. There's something better. There's something that's better than this way of living life. And you did. You found God. And God said, stand up. Stand upright the way that I built you, the way that I designed you. Be strong. Fight back. Fight for your love and fight for what you believe in. Do not let people walk over your boundaries. Period. And you went through the dark night of the soul. You put up boundaries. You put up what I call the Great Wall of China. And without realizing it, by isolating yourself, by ignoring people, by staying away from people, you were building up a foundation. a much stronger foundation that was always there to be built in the beginning. The cornerstone of Christ was always there. It was always rock solid. If you're Muslim, the cornerstone of God, the cornerstone of your learnings of love, peace, harmony, working with mankind, working with people as best you can, it was always there. It never left. It was the false foundation that was connected to that cornerstone that crumbled, that you finally let go of. You had to build the Great Wall of China on a solid foundation. So now you have this foundation, this wall that's 50 feet high, that's all the way around you. And now inside that, when you were alone for a year or 2 years or longer, you were developing this inner connectedness. You were developing this inner silence, this calmness. And all of a sudden now, once you found that and created that calmness and that being emotionally grounded, you've got this big wall around you, this barrier, you finally built boundaries. Now you've got a rock solid boundary, and inside you have that love, you have that peace, you have that harmony, and now you can go out unto the world and you can bring that peace out into the world, and you can stay inside that boundary, stay inside that peace and harmony, and everyone around can begin to see this, and they start realizing there's a better way, and it was done through you by what I call bringing heaven unto earth. You see through the eyes of truth. You see truth. You speak truth. You hear truth. You understand truth. And you bring this into the world right now at the most critical time when the rest of the planet needs this. And you know what? You're right. It's not easy. Nobody said it was easy. Christ being up on the cross, that was not easy. The beatings he took, that was not easy. The beatings that you took, the abuse, the verbal, mental, emotional, spiritual, the psychic attacks, the black magic, the people poisoning you, putting drugs in your food, none of this was easy. But you're stronger because of it, and you know it. You're a lot stronger now than you ever were in your entire life. I don't know where you are on your journey, whether you've come out of this darkness, this dark tunnel of darkness, and you're finally in the light, or if you're somewhere in the middle and you're working your way through this. And I don't mean what you were told 10, 15, 20 years ago. I'm talking about in the last 3 years, a lot of people have been waking up to what's really going on the planet. You are starting to see the truth, and in the beginning, it scares the crap out of you. Keep going. There is a light, and it does get better. Does it not say multiple times? Does God not say, or Jesus say, to be strong and be courageous? So it says right here, it says, be strong and courageous, be not afraid nor dismayed for the king of Assyria, nor for all the multitude that is with him, for there be more with us than with him. Have not I commanded you, be courageous and be valiant? Yes, many times the Bible tells us to be courageous, to be strong. So do it, and your life will get better. Because here's what happens. It's not like you're just the scared person all the time. You start to become stronger. You begin to develop confidence. You begin to develop certainty. You begin to develop awareness. You begin to develop a lot of your spiritual gifts. And all of a sudden, you're really good at this game, and you start kicking ass. And life and the world and the spirit becomes better. What's the alternative? The eternal struggle of life, that constant tug of war every day, every moment. Shaming people, thinking you have the right to be God, to be above God, to guilt and shame people. To think somehow you have the divine right to humiliate and shame people, the very same people that God's trying to heal. To take innocent lives, to kill people, to beat people, to torture people. To be at war forever. To realize that your daughter is dead, to find her dead body, and that's a blessing because she's not being tortured. To be trapped by the very people that supposedly are on your side. They're not. They want you as human shields. To now go on the attack to destroy Gaza, to destroy children's lives, to kill children on both sides of the fence. Humans are running for their life, literally on their feet, carrying their baby children. Yes, this is the Gaza Strip. Yes, these are Palestinians. Children are getting bombed out. They're getting hit by shrapnel. They're being killed. Yes, again, this is Palestine. I'm not taking sides. I didn't take sides. You weren't listening to what I was saying. I literally said in the last video both Palestinian children and Israeli children. It wasn't one-sided. But that's what happens when you're an either-or person. It's either you're on my side, you're on their side. Well, guess what? There's another option. I'm on people's side. You know what I would love to see? I wish we could go back 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I would love to see the Palestinians and the Israeli people become one. I would love to see them to work in harmony, to come to prosperity together, supporting each other, loving each other in harmony, together as a family, as friends, as countrymen. As long as the majority of society is on the second dimension level, in that tug of war, either or, right or wrong level, this is what you're going to have. You're going to have wars. You're going to have devastation. You're going to have children being bombed out, being tortured, being killed. You're going to have innocent people being harmed. Why? Because we have these narcissists on the planet that are hurting all of us, that are literally, and this is a perfect example of it, turning us against each other. Do you really think Hamas gives a shit about the Palestinian people? No, they don't. You want to know what? Most soldiers that are sent off to wars, and I'm including the United States, my country, the people that are leading those soldiers, they don't give a shit about them. They're just cannon fodder. So as long as you are taking sides in this blind either-or mentality, where I could literally say to you, both the children in Israel and Gaza, on the Gaza Strip, the Palestinians, the Iranian children, Egyptian children, people, the innocent people of all these countries, and you only hear me taking one side, guess what? You are stuck in your logical left brain, the either-or mentality. Everything to you is a tug of war. Well, he didn't pick our side, so he must be against us. No, that's not what I said. This is the problem with that two-dimensional either-or mentality. You turn your friends into your enemies because you can't even hear the full picture of what they're saying. This is the problem, and this is why we as humanity need to rise above literally the second dimension level. Otherwise, this is just going to continue. It's never going to stop. Again, the logical left brain is the either-or two-dimensional brain. This is either you or me. Fight or flight, kill or be killed. As long as we hold on to the mentality, that's what we're going to create. If we open up to the right brain, guess what? The right brain is called the human brain, because it is the human brain. It's our humanity. This is the brain where people think about each other, where we get along, where we listen to understand versus just automatically going into argument mode like the left brain does. For people who are on the second dimension, the only way they ever leave it is if life is so horrible, if they suffer so tremendously for a long, long time, to where they finally have a nervous breakdown and they completely surrender and let go. So if you're a religious person, I tell you what, I want you to be religious. I want you to be religious to the letter of the law until you finally snap and have a nervous breakdown and you completely open up and surrender to God. Because that's what happens. You are so religious, you follow the rules, the letter of the law, and you realize it's impossible, and you have a nervous breakdown and you cry hysterically to God and you beg God to help you. And that is when you finally let go of the second dimension. You finally let go and you open up to God. This is what it's going to take for the world to become a better place. It's going to take massive suffering, and that's where we're at right now on the planet. In the United States of America, every city has become more violent, more drugs, more crime. People are scared to go outside at night, even in the nicest areas of the United States. This is happening throughout the world, throughout Europe, throughout Mexico, throughout almost every country I can think of right now. And right now in the Middle East, it is absolutely exploding with pain and suffering. And you know what? I think that's what it's going to take, the ultimate sacrifice for people finally to let go of the second dimension and to open up to their hearts. So Israel, Palestine, out of your stubbornness, you are making the ultimate sacrifice. The entire world is watching and we're terrified. You are ultimately going to make the ultimate sacrifice. You're going to suffer on a level that has never been seen or heard of on this planet ever. You will surrender to God. You never needed to sacrifice. The only reason why you're sacrificing is because you need to suffer massive pain, whether it's Israel, people in the second dimension, I don't care who it is. You're only sacrificing because you refuse to let go. You're going to suffer until you let go because you're the one holding on to the pain. God doesn't want you to sacrifice. God doesn't want you to suffer. That was your choice, and you're going to suffer until you can't take it anymore. That's what I'm saying. Now, surrendering to God is not a bad thing. You are not suddenly put in jail and under control. It's the complete opposite. When you're in the left brain, that's about rules. That's about right or wrong. That's about punishment. That's about guilt. That's about shame. It's like being in prison. Once you leave your left brain, you will never get stuck there again, because it's like you're finally freed from jail. So you think, oh, so you want me to be oppressed by God and surrender to God? No, it's not oppression at all. It's absolute, total, complete freedom. And that's the whole point. See, you guys think God's shaming people and guilting people and hurting people. No, that's what you're doing. That's what mankind is doing to each other. That's what it was about. But the lady at the well, the woman at the well, she goes, oh, so you come here to condemn me? Oh, I see. He said, no, I've not come to condemn you. It's those people in the cities that condemned her. It's the people of the religious sects that condemned her. Jesus did not condemn her. God did not condemn her. God did not say, feel shame. Do you really think God is so weak that he needs to go around shaming people? No, that's you. That's your ego, and you need to let go of your ego. God is not the punisher. God loves you fully and completely as you are right now. All can be free. All can be loved. All can be prosperous. All can be wealthy. That's from the third dimensional brain, the and both plus and more brain. The limited either or mind, the second dimensional mind, now we have to hold each other down. Now we have to control each other and beat each other down and punish each other and guilt and shame and harm each other. The whole purpose of Jesus, God, all the great teachers on the planet, that's not true. We can all open up. We can all be peaceful and get along and be understanding and compassionate and create a heaven on earth, a place where we want to be, where we want to live. Life was meant to be tremendous. It was meant to be awesome. It was meant to be fascinating. It was meant to be an experience to behold. I honestly believe we are about to witness the greatest experience on the planet. I think something amazing is going to happen. It's going to come from all of this. I believe we are going to witness the greatest transformation on the planet ever. God bless you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. If you like this video, click subscribe, click the like button, and please go ahead and make a comment. And remember, there's a donation link, a PayPal link right there in the description box below the video. If you like, go ahead and make a donation of $5, $10, $15, $20, $100, whatever you want. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this.